Hey there, happy July 4th. This is Nancy Blanchard with ScreenBeam and excited about tonight with our discussion, all ladies. You're listening to and watching the AV Life.
Hey everyone, I am Murphy Daley, author of the AV Project Manager Handbook. We are back from InfoComm. We are here, all of us gathering these women in AV. I'm excited to be here, and you're joining us for the AV Life.
Hi, Brandy Johnson here with PTZ Optics, and it's ladies' night, and we're feeling right. It is AV Life, ladies' night. And you're listening and watching to the AV Life.
And how do I follow that? This is Renee Benson, where tonight and tonight only, I am your host. Thank you, Tim, for giving up the reins to me and allowing these wonderful ladies to join us in the AV Life Women of AV Takeover. My name is Renee Benson from Sony Electronics. I can be found at AV Renee KC, and you are listening to and watching the AV Life. And that's normally where I stop and wait for Tim to do his thing. So
it's your turn. Now you got to announce it.
Keep it on.
You get to talk about our lovely guests.
Yes, we get to talk about our lovely guests. So why don't we go Gisela and then Erin, and tell us a little bit about yourselves and how long you've been in the AV industry.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gisela, and I'm from Alma, and I have been in AV now for 15 years. I have two amazing kids. My daughter is 13. My son is 11. I just love being their mom and just balancing my career in a way that allows me to kind of put them first. It's hard, but we do it. And I'm really excited to be here and connect with you all and be able to have a platform that allows us for this kind of discussion. So,
and she raps, y'all.
I don't rap. I attempt to rap after a couple years.
Like she actually created like a 15-minute long rap at the Alma NSM that was like double.
Yeah. That was
awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you for being here. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm Erin Maher-Moran. For those who may not know me, I'm the IT manager for classroom technology at Johns Hopkins University, and I'm also the chair of HETMA, the Higher Education Technology Managers Alliance. I've been doing this AV thing for over 30 years. I'm not going to get too specific in the year, but I can't believe it's been that long.
That's awesome.
Well, don't look a day over 30. So
I know.
How you started doing it at birth, woman.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what you start thinking about it. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do that math. but anyway, that's awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, gals, for being here. We just have a couple of topics we're going to touch on. As always, we're open for discussion, and we usually get derailed. So if we do, it's right on course for the AV Life. Joe is not here to derail us, so that's good.
But I'm here.
Oh, I think he's on a beach. Didn't he say the Philippines?
He is.
Oh, the Philippines, yes.
Philippines.
You just never know where he's going to dial in.
I can text him if you want.
You really don't. Let's not, because like he'll make us all nuts.
And it'll be the wrong time.
Yeah.
So funny. So let's chat a little bit about, because we are just coming off of maybe 2 weeks ago now, off of the high that is InfoComm. And I know for me, it's one of my favorite weeks of the year, most exhausting weeks of the year, but one of my favorite weeks of the year, because I feel like that's where I get to see the people that I see once a year, right? You know, people that I call on, my customers, I get to see them throughout my travels, but a lot of times some of these people I only get to see once a year. So it's always a great time getting together. But there were a couple of events there tailored specifically to the women in our industry. So that's always exciting to go and see. But the first one we're going to talk about is the AVIXA Women's Breakfast. And I was a proud attendee with Sony because we sponsored the breakfast. And I'm so glad we did, because I know I have years that I think, oh, it's Thursday. Oh, it's 7 a.m. Oh, man, do I really want to do that, or can I get another hour of sleep?
Girl, I almost didn't come.
Well,
Like I was like, oh my God.
Right. So when my marketing gal said,
Sure.
if you sign up to come, I really, really want you to attend. And I knew that that meant like, you need to be there.
You need to
Don't
be
tell me you're tired and all that. So I knew I wasn't forced into going because I could have said no, but I thought, but I'm so glad I did. All that to say, I'm so glad we did because the keynote speaker.
Mariana.
Okay.
Mariana.
Just a minute. I'm going to steal the theme for just a minute. I'm going to pull a Joe because the breakfast is wonderful. I wanted to go to the breakfast so bad, and somehow I didn't click. Somehow I didn't get the tickets before I went, and I really thought I was going. Didn't get there. I'm like, so it was all sold out, and that happens. And let me tell you, what I got to do instead is I went to the glow up with WAVIT the night before. It was at night, and it was not so well known, but it was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was a little bit away in the arts district. It was a very cute place. So many people were there, and it was really wonderful. And I loved it so much. I just wanted to say that I'm always going to try to go. I don't think anyone else on this call went. Did anyone else go?
I had 3 parties that night.
You did go. Of course you were. Oh, hello.
2.
You were there, Renee.
Yeah.
Of course you were. Of
Yeah,
course.
Deborah and I from Sony attended.
That's right. And I just wanted to make a little moment to say this is a new thing.
Yeah.
And if somebody has trouble, they can't get a ticket because it's late. This is very similar. It's a networking. It's really talking. It doesn't have the speaker like the and I'll let you talk about how great that was. But I really enjoyed the WAVIT. I did not expect all that. And even when I signed up, it says it made a list of who else was going, and I was like, only one person is even listed. But it was a wonderful thing to go to. Lots of people came. It was so worth it. And I enjoyed it really a lot. So I just wanted to I'll give a link to what it was for the WAVIT. It was really great. It was the women coming together, and I connected with people. Of course, men are welcome to come too. It's really a wonderful networking thing. So I wanted to do a little quick thing as you're getting ready to say, everybody likes to go and it's hard to go. If you have any obstacles, the night before was really wonderful with the glow up.
And Gisela did not make it to that, but she just became a chair of WAVIT, right?
Yes,
Did
I
you?
joined the board. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited. This is my first InfoComm in 13, 14 years that I didn't attend. My mom was having eye surgery, so being an only child, I'm like, I need to be here for her. But I was really excited about that. And WAVIT is really coming around, and they're, we're really trying to push more events, more, we were talking about starting a wellness career to kind of promote wellness within women in AV. And so there's a lot of really, really good things coming with WAVIT. So definitely stay on the lookout with that group.
Awesome.
That's so awesome.
There's Mariana.
Well, let's just go ahead and chat about the WAVIT for right now, since we're kind of on that, and then we'll go back to Mariana. But, I wanted to go support Brandy Alvarado. I think she's just amazing. And I love that she's got this group together, and I love being with, and I never saw anywhere the invite for it, but my coworkers told me about it, and I signed up very last minute, and they had no problem with that. So I think maybe next year, or with maybe help from you too, Gisela, but let's help get that networked more for her. I mean, at least I know
100%.
I could spread it around to the women inside of Sony and that sort of thing. So I'd be happy to do that. But it was nice because, again, going back to saying InfoComm is where I see people I don't ever see. I mean, like Kelly Perkins. I haven't seen her in forever. I hadn't seen her in forever because we don't really cross paths on the InfoComm floor, right? So I don't really see her. She was there. And I met several new ladies. Like Murphy said, it was a very nice networking event that immediately are LinkedIn requesting you right there at the table. It was a really cool little area. I definitely think we can gather some more people for next year. For sure. So
I was really sad to miss it. I really wanted to go, but I was full,
it's so hard.
Pulled in so many different directions because 2 distributors had parties that night.
Yeah, it's so hard because everybody's trying to do all the things. And that's what, like for Sony, we do our customer appreciation dinner on Tuesday night before the show floor opens for those, maybe there's not a lot of events planned there. So that's why
I think that's smart.
And that's
But
the
it was-
downside of Vegas. Like, I love Vegas, but everything is so spread out. Where at
Yeah.
least in
And you sit in
Orlando,
traffic to get from one place to another. Where at InfoComm in Orlando, everything's on iDrive.
Yeah.
You
I
walk,
agree with that. I agree
right?
with that too.
You walk from party to party. You don't
There's
have
no
to
walking in Vegas.
get in a
sadly.
cab or an Uber.
Yeah, and there was something really weird happening there on our Uber out of there. There was like a
You broke down or something.
bicycling thing, and all these cars were pulled over, and all these bicycles were, coming off the back of the car and stuff. And it was like 1,000 bikers going by, and like no cars could go anywhere.
Didn't you break down or something?
No, we didn't break down. We had a very, very bad Uber experience. And
Got kicked out.
Yeah, he canceled the ride on us and then dropped us off. And he's like, "You canceled the ride." I'm like, "No, I'm an Uber professional. I did not cancel the ride." And come to find out, he did. It was a bad deal in the bad part of town.
They got kicked out.
Yeah, we did. It
Uber.
was bad.
In the hood.
Completely blind in the hood. That's the worst part. But you know what? We're strong, ladies. We survived.
So what's your Uber rating, Renee?
Huh?
After that, what's your Uber rating after that?
Well, I blocked him, but I'm still like a 4.9, so I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
I just had to check.
Yeah, I had to block him. But you're right, Murphy. I think that was a great experience, and we definitely need to try to get more folks there.
I wasn't sure what to expect because it's a little bit new, but there's a lot going on here in LA. It's kind of active. The WAVIT is active here. So I'd been to a couple kind of WAVIT things.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, I'll go to which is how I knew about it, right? I might not have even known because it's hard to tell what's going on in InfoComm.
Yeah. But going back to what Erin said, last year they did it in Orlando and in that area where all like the restaurants and bars and gatherings are. There were a lot of people there last year because we all had to just walk 10 feet to the next thing, right? Or, in that vicinity. So maybe it'll be easier next year. But yeah, that was awesome. But going back to the AVIXA Women's Breakfast, Mariana was amazing. Like,
Cool. Amazing.
It was, I think that one of the things, my takeaway, and I think anybody who was there should do the same, but she talked about trust. She had us do an exercise and all this thing. And it's so funny to me how it tied back exactly to what we do. I mean, right? Like people aren't just buying things from us, right? We build relationships. We build trust with people every day. Like Almo is an example. Almo is my favorite distributor to work with because I trust every single one of my reps, whether it's the rep in Colorado or the rep here in Missouri, or if I have to deal with something, like I know that I can trust that it's going to get done. It's going to get done the right way. They're going to take care of my customer. I don't have to follow up. And so you build that though throughout the years. And so I just love that she tied that into her speech. What did you think about that when she did the exercise of when you had to look in somebody's eye for 60 seconds?
It was so interesting because the girl, like it was pretty easy for me. Like to just sit, we had to stare for 60 seconds. Like we weren't allowed to look away. You weren't allowed to talk. You weren't allowed to do anything but just stare into your neighbor's eyes for 60 seconds. And my partner, you could see, she kept looking away and looking, her eyes kept doing this. And then she like leaned into it about 30 seconds in. And finally, like, it made her more comfortable. Like I just kept that eye contact,
Now I feel like I can trust you, right? Mm-hmm. To me, it was just kind of like, it was just an eye-opening experience, but I loved it. I just loved that they got somebody this year that tied in to what we do every day for a living, I mean, and she also talked about what makes you different. Mm-hmm. What makes you different is kind of your superpower. Well, how fitting is that to be a woman in this male-dominated industry and talk about
defining your purpose.
Right. Exactly.
And I loved the see me, see them.
Right.
And they see you.
Right. And don't change
see yourself first.
Yeah. And I love that.
Them.
don't
and then
change
they
who
see
you
you.
are to fit yourself in this man's
Yeah.
industry, right? You
Yeah.
are who you are, and you bring
Make the industry fit you.
Exactly. So
And the purpose thing was big for me. You know, I got up on stage and gave my purpose.
Wow.
I cried a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah. I was not expecting Brandy to get so,
Deep. And
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to share a little bit of what your
I
purpose
did pull
is?
it up just in case. I did pull it up.
Absolutely need to. I have a video.
Wow.
Oh, I gotta find it again. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. A hot flash.
Power surge.
I know, right? I came to for the summer, I moved my kind of office setup to the basement thinking it'll be so much cooler down here. And now I'm like, whew.
Ladies, hormone
Well,
replacement.
I'm in a 110 year old home that doesn't have central air, so we've got train units. So there's no unit in the big hall, the big foyer. So there's 3 units upstairs, but they're not feeding the bathrooms. They're not feeding, so if you keep the doors open, like it's hot as Hades in here. Okay, so my purpose.
Ladies' night, Brandy. It's hot as Hades.
Night. Yeah. Yeah. My purpose is to lead with intention, mentor with compassion, help others heal through connection and understanding, and be a living reminder that there is still good in the world.
Yeah. And then she asked you a question and you said, I
have been through hell and back in my life, and I still am good.
Mm-hmm.
And I still
see good in people.
See good.
You sure do. And you give good. Thank you, Brandy.
And I give good. Thank you. I love giving. I think I get fulfilled by giving, but
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So it was absolutely, she literally, so if you look her up, it's Mariana, brain fart. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Atencio.
I don't even think I can say her last name.
It's like Atencio.
Atencio.
Yeah.
Atencio. She is a Peabody winner journalist, Peabody winning journalist. Like, she is fire. Like, is all I can say.
I think if you Google her, she's got a YouTube video that's fairly similar to probably the presentation she gave us. I definitely think it's worth posting. We can maybe post that when Tim posts this to all the socials. But she was just an authentic woman in her industry, and she gave stories about being in people's homes during storms that she was
for weeks
covering, because she
literally this guy put them up for 2 weeks, and then he ended up, and this guy is like so it was like a Hurricane Michael, I think it was it, or it was one of the hurricanes.
Yes.
And he was like a doomsday prepper, and one of the one of those people that isolated, wouldn't leave or whatever. And he ended up becoming their friend. He housed them and fed them for 2 weeks, washed their clothes, and then ended up going on the road with them to cover news. And finally down in South Carolina, they're like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
Was it Steve or Paul or something? It's time to go, Paul.
She set up a temporary residency with him. Yeah, it was funny.
It was so funny.
But it was just a nice kind of listening to how, even that situation, she built relationships, the empathy, all the things that she had to go through are very similar to what we do every day. Right. And, even us as manufacturers, you as a distributor, you as an end user, right? We all have people that we have to work with every day that we have to try to please, or we have to try to make their lives better. And, user experience is the big thing. And it's just, I loved how everything tied together.
Yeah.
I guess obviously AVIXA has somebody doing their research of what would be a good fit for this group, and they freaking nailed it this time. Let's just say that.
And I know us as women, and women, and I don't know, tell me, you guys, if you guys agree, we have a million things going on up here and a million things to do. And a lot of times you will find yourself not intently looking into somebody's eyes to build that connection and that trust. And after that keynote, I have made it more, I've been more intent with my eye contact.
Well, you almost are like, after being in that environment, it's almost like now I think about it more where I would have probably not thought about it before, but.
Yeah, for me personally, I feel like sometimes in sales, relationships tend to be transactional. And I think when you become intentional for the long haul with relationships, that's really when there's you make a difference, and you build that connection. Because, I've gone through different phases in my career, and really what helped me has been the connections that I've made for the long haul, not the quick transactional, the quick, not the quick wins. And like our jobs are already, we spend more time at work at times than we do with people in our personal lives. So it is, I would be miserable if all I had were these, surface level relationships with people that I had to spend a lot of time with, especially when you travel and whatnot. So being able to build that long-term, being able to humanize people too, I think really is like the key to long-term success in anything.
I agree with that. It's appreciation. It's gratitude. Honestly, it's just being genuine. And I mean, when you start making those connections and relationship, and you project and show that you're interested in that other person, even personally, it goes a lot further.
It does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
As the end user.
As the end user.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that my favorite people to work with are the sales reps that build that rapport, instead of just being like, here's the product. I'm like, I want to like build a little something, gain that, be able to feel like I can trust you before I'm like, totally buying everything that you're selling.
Like, know that the intentions are good. Yes.
Right. And then how many times are you, needing pre-sales support, and you want to know that if you've got a project in-house, you're going to be supported afterwards too. Right. And, I know people that can text me if they need me, and it's 7:00 at night. They know I'm going to.
I know. Yeah. Same.
And if not, it's going to be immediately in the morning, whatever. They know that
exactly.
It's going to come together, and it's funny because I'm trying to be a mentor to some younger folks inside my organization. And I'm like, here's the thing. If you work at 8 and get off at 5 and you don't do anything outside of any of those boundaries,
you're not going to win. You're not going to be successful.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you work 24/7 or anything like that, but people trust you for certain reasons. And there's different examples we could all give, right? But, one of them is knowing that if they need you,
you're there.
So, that doesn't mean,
well,
in your phone at midnight or anything like that. But it's like, if they need you, they need you.
But Renee, like with consultants, it's billable hours, and they may be working on a project. I've had integrators, engineers text me on a Saturday, and I instantly respond back because I know they've got a schedule. And so if I can help them out, then, it's
I literally was at bowling league on a Saturday night at 10:30 and answered a call and did tech support.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're like I hear I'm like bowling pins. I'm like, it's bowling league. It's Saturday night,
Yeah.
But I answered. I'm helping you out, because I'm like, I want I have the, and the younger generation of sales, I do believe, is not as good. They don't understand. They haven't grasped that. That the need and desire, like we do, to be helpful at any time.
I mean, I admire the younger gens for having better boundaries than
They do have better boundaries.
many of us grew up with. But at the same time, there's that gray area that
There's
it's
a
like
gray area.
It's good to keep the phone off of D&D for a little while, just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
need that too. Definitely need
Well, the
that
thing
too.
is, like our company, you get grace, you get like comp time. So we only expect our reps to work 40 hours a week. So if they spend an hour a week in the evening doing emails, then they can take an extra hour off during the week.
That's great.
So we're not expecting them to work any extra.
So Brandy, I'm working this weekend found out I'm doing a 45-minute session next week at a conference. And I've got to customize, learn the material and things. And my manager said, everybody take the time off. You've all done great. And I responded, well, that isn't going to happen with me. I'm going to be working all weekend. I said, but that's life.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I mean, I work that's my life. I don't expect that to be everybody else's.
Yeah.
As the work that
I'm getting better at not expecting that to be everybody else's, because I used to think I did expect everybody else, but I'm getting better at, the work-life balance is good to have.
It's also really, when I'm working with the teams, when you're doing a project, there are time crunches that are really important. Like, you could take an afternoon off when it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But when there's this window of everything having to come together and we're having to pull these things and call Almo, call tech support from different devices, et cetera, that we've got going on, figure out, make sure the delivery is there. And so when I have done that, the pain of working hard for me has been taken away by, the working with the team is really important. Then, like, we have these moments, like we did this crazy hard thing and I was making their lives better by being the project manager. I'm like, okay, we got all this going, and they could go solve the problem while I solved the part that got them the part that they need at the exact moment that they needed. And I would get the information and put it all together. That's hard working at that moment. Like you were saying, Brandy, you took the time when the bowling league happened because you were doing that moment, and you take the time elsewhere. So the balance, you work it out, figure out, make those connections with people. And it's really satisfying to have those relationships. And I went to InfoComm and saw people that I early in my career, I called Harmon out because I didn't understand what was happening with a particular part. Harmon was supplying it. And
what was it? What was the part?
I don't even remember. See, I didn't even remember this happened, but this guy came up to me. And I don't remember what the part was, but I do remember afterwards it came up to me that it was a part and they were supplying it. It was somebody else had made it and they were supplying the part right somehow that was happening. And I was like, why aren't you taking care of this? And he was trying to explain to me that it wasn't, even they weren't the manufacturer, whatever. It's something like that. And I didn't understand what was happening. And I was pushing on really hard about, hey, you have to take care of this. And he was trying to tell me that I had to call somebody else. I'm like, no, I don't. I bought it from you. You need to handle this. And the thing was, that particular guy, who I didn't recognize until we spent probably an hour at the WAVIT, where he said, I remember you. And it was very early, and I didn't understand what was happening because I had come from operations. I had been working inside of operations instead of inside of an integrator before, so I didn't understand what was happening. And so I gave him a lot of crap. I was kind but insistent because I had a timeline. And he remembered, and after I understood what was happening, I kind of apologized to him. And he remembered that we had we butt heads, and then we resolved it. And it took me a really long time to remember who he was, and I finally did. And we had a really cool conversation about what's happening with him, what's happening with me, because we were working together. And it was, anyhow. What I was saying is, those times when teams work together are really valuable, and that's what builds these connections over the years that get you. Connections with people, not just during the regular times. It's
Agreed.
Yeah, outside of the business you do, and you might have done business with them over the years. I just love that. I love walking into meetings, giving the history, of the previous roles, and then us connecting, and then start talking about the good old days.
Yeah. I love that too.
Yeah.
So that kind of ties us right in kind of the next kind of topic I kind of wanted to talk about.
I do have to step off because I have another thing I'm going to do. I'm sorry.
Bye, Murphy.
You
Good
are
luck
wonderful.
tonight.
Love you all.
Good
Record
luck.
it for us.
Take care.
Hey.
Is having a seat at the table in a traditionally male-dominated industry, right? And having confidence in your experience or trusting yourself, obviously
Not allowing yourself to get bullied.
right. So,
I experienced that.
Or not even that, but being left out of the conversation because it's a boys club.
I wanted to go kind of around and go, okay, like when did everybody hit that moment where you felt like you really did have a seat at that table, right? And you felt confident. You felt like your voice mattered. You didn't feel like, because I know early in my career, I felt like I had to prove myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would tell them something, but then they would call the manufacturer behind my back and ask them, and then they would tell me, and I'm like, well, I told them that. But it was like it took years. I was young, I was a woman, and it took a few years, I feel like, in my area to go, okay, have I proved myself enough now? Can we just have a discussion and you just trust what I'm going to say to you? And it took a minute, but what I just like to kind of go around and go, when did you really feel like you had that seat at that table and your voice and you mattered? Do you want to kind of just go around you want to start with you, Brandy, because I'll go around the circle.
Go around the circle.
The squares.
So, I am, I've been in the industry for 6.5 years now. God, went by pretty fast, but it kind of feels like I've always been here.
Hey, we suck you in and we won't let you go.
I will never leave. But being on the manufacturer side, and being I have been in a lot of conversations and meetings where I was like, they acted like I didn't exist. And I would talk and they would just talk over me and act like I wasn't there. That was for quite a while.
Right.
So it started with Chester Lee at Lumens. Like he came, I had been there for 4 years. So my last year at Lumens was Chester. Like 8 months at Lumens was with Chester, 6 months, something like that. And Chester saw me, like he saw the work I did and he allowed me to grow and blossom. And then I came to PTZ Optics 2.5 years ago, and the team there and Tom, they had so much faith in me and they listened, and they gave me a seat at the table. And I, ever since, literally, I don't know if you know, Gisela, or you, Renee, the change in me has been, because you guys have both known me since the beginning.
You mean the you at Lumens?
The me before at Lumens, the me now, or like.
Well, that's why the question is a good question to you. Like when did that happen? When you had that support finally, right? When did that happen?
When I had the support and, the belief, and I worked for people who didn't look at women as less than.
Yeah. So important.
And like my old boss, I mean, like, he didn't even mean to. Like, I know that it wasn't like it was something these guys meant to do, but they just didn't even think about it. Like, it was literally just in their DNA, like to totally disregard me, like being there. Like, I didn't even get mad. Like, I got mad, I think, one time. And, he apologized. He apologized profusely. I didn't even realize, I'm like, I get it. I know. I've been around the block a few times, because even, before AV, I was in a male dominant industry. I was in telecommunications. And, there was a time that I was sitting at my desk. I'd applied for a promotion. I had won Winner Circle over and over again. I was on task force creating toolkits for the whole United States to use. And I applied for a promotion, and I heard the regional manager behind me say, "I'm not giving it to Brandy. She can't do it. She's a single mom."
Oh. Dude.
Now he's working for his old employee that was my coworker, and I love it. And like, oh, go Scott, give it to him. But yeah, like, I mean, it's been my whole career. So it felt good. And I've just flourished ever since I came to PTZ Optics. It's a great company with great leadership. And of course we have our challenges, but, and there's times and hiccups, and like my boss will, he'll do the man thing, and then I'll do the be mean because I come right back at you, and then he'll think about it, and he feels so bad immediately, right? And then apologize. I love you so much. I'm being a little more dramatic about it, but that's my story. What about you, Gisela?
So for me, I started out as like kind of inside sales support, and then I moved into junior sales. And I remember I was constantly, and I use the word bullied because I had this older male on my team, and anytime there was a good account that was in my territory, somehow he would like weasel his way into taking that account, and me being intimidated, right? Because it's like I'm the new girl. I was just quiet. I would let it go. Like I would go home and cry. I was just like, what is going on? I want to be successful here, but I feel like I'm being pushed out. Until one day, and I'll never forget this. Like we were arguing because again, this project was in my territory. I worked it, and he was like trying to take it. And I finally spoke up to my boss, and this man said, like, why are you being so dramatic? Are you on your period or something? And I just lost it. And so after that day, I promised myself.
I'll show you, period.
No, yeah. And after that day, I promised myself, I was like, what is going, like, I'm not going, because there's microaggressions. There were, at least on my time, like microaggressions all the time, like whether you're on the table and every time you're trying to speak up, it's all, meant, and then your voice, like you can't overpower other male voices. And so I always felt that way. But after that day, it was just a trigger that I was like, no. So I made it a bigger deal than maybe I should have. I got HR involved. Like I did this whole thing, and I promised myself, I will never allow this to happen. And I want to be able to not allow it to happen, not just for myself, but other women, especially younger women. And,
Good for you.
For me, I take mentorship really seriously, in the sense, like I volunteer any kind of mentorship program. I try to volunteer to be a mentor, because I just remember feeling so small. And then once I got to the table, right? So I kind of put myself there, and I realized, like, I used to be so intimidated by these other, these men. And I'm like, I know I can do this so much better than a lot of you here. And so it was almost like taking off the mask and realizing that I belong here too. Like I know what I'm doing. I have the skills, but it took me a while because, I was abused as a child. I was in an abusive relationship in my previous marriage. And so, but by nature, I was someone who just bowed down and was just like, I'd take it. So it was really liberating in that sense. And, in the moment I was like, I'm going to get fired because this guy's been here so much longer than me and whatever. But I guess because I was someone who never complained, when I finally did, I was taken seriously. And then after that, after the years, my leadership changed, and I finally had a boss who, like Fred Rogers, and I can't thank him enough, because he really saw it in me and he lifted me up. So, he put me as like director at the time of LATAM, and then I was able to grow from that. But it really took, him being able to advocate and see it in me. Until this day, now I switched to the Southeast team. And same thing, he, having him on my corner. And the cool thing is, I think once you set a standard of the respect that you want, people will attract it, right? So I think before, prior to me, I wasn't attracting respect because I didn't respect myself. I think if I let somebody walk all over me and do whatever, that means like I'm obviously lacking some type of self-awareness.
Yeah.
So once it was so liberating. Like once I was like, I spoke up, it was like after that, there's a certain respect that I don't, not that, you know, I demand it with words, but like your presence ends up demanding it because of how you carry yourself, how you speak. And then again, I just like, I sit in these meetings sometimes and I'm like, you know, I don't know why I was so scared of you guys. Like, yeah, you know, I think being a woman, we do so much and we juggle so much, and bringing that skill to our jobs really makes us just, I think, stand out, because you know, we're over here, we're you know, there's been times I'm on a work trip and then my daughter calls me, and then my son is you know, and we're like all over the place, where I think that we have this like special skill as women that really helps us stand out. So I think it was owning it. I had to, the seat at the table only came when I accepted that I deserved to be there.
Yep. And I think that exactly the critical point here too is, while we're talking about women in AV and celebrating women, it's very important to recognize the incredible men who have been there to support us along the way.
Yes.
Yes. And lift them up for sure.
And lift them up. And, you know, without the guys who, you know, who came along with us, believed in us, challenged us, maybe even along the way, right? I know my first mentor, he was there for me, similar like you were talking about, and challenged me and had me get that confidence in myself when I overcame challenges, right? So I think this is not a men versus women thing. This is, you know,
no, not at all.
This is,
like
we're all capable to do the same thing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I would not be where I am if it wasn't for the men that believed in me.
And they're just people wanting to help people succeed. And so that's great.
Exactly.
It's great that we have that too. You know, I mean, like Joe Way, I look at the things that he has done to help, you know, the younger generation and the women in the industry. And he's one of those two that I feel, you know, he's probably helped more people than he even knows.
It realizes.
But, Erin, let's go to you real quick and see, like, when did you finally feel that, like, okay, see, I do belong here?
Right. Yeah. Cause I mean, I started my career at the university that I had attended, and that it was a school that had way more men than women to begin with. So I just thought that, you know, I didn't really think that was necessarily indicative of the AV industry. I was just like, that's just how this university is. But then I went to my first InfoComm 4 years into my full-time career, finally, which that was a whole thing, because my predecessor, the person who also had the same job as me, who started a year before me, because he graduated a year before me, he got to go right away to InfoComm. But they gave, like, every year I'm like, hey, my turn. And they're like, we're not quite sure you're going to get as much out of it as he did.
Oh,
and yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay, we're starting to head down a road that I'm not really happy with. And a lot of the, like, my ideas are set aside, but then when my male counterpart said pretty much the exact same thing, everyone's like, great idea, let's do that, and I was like, excuse me, I had that same idea months ago. And so it was just all these sorts of behaviors. I ended up even having an off the record meeting with HR, but they essentially were like, they really haven't done anything. And I was like, all right, never mind. I was never here. You didn't see me. And then basically just started putting my resume out. And then finally they're like, oh, now we'll let you go to InfoComm. And I was like, oh, wait, no, it's not just my school. This is how the AV industry is. Got the typical, like, I'm at the booths, like, very interested in looking at certain things, and people would just walk right by me, and I'm like, hi, human being who would like some attention. I've got a budget to spend too. And so you know, I was like, oh, okay, fine, cool, whatever. And then I got my job at Johns Hopkins and had was part of a team where they valued my opinion, and they actually wanted my ideas. And sent me to InfoComm my first year there, and very much felt like I was part of the team. And that was definitely when things started to really change for me. Real, was like, oh yeah, no, I deserve to be here. And
Good for you. Yeah.
Fight like the Dickens to stay here, and now definitely try to help those who are coming into the industry, and
that's awesome.
to be like, there is a place for you.
Yeah, we want to make more room.
Sometimes we don't feel like it.
Yeah, come to the table with us. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nancy, how about you?
Yeah, I got into the industry when it was 98.5% male. It was a difficult time. You develop like a strong skin because I'm going to tell you a funny story. So at the time I lived in Toronto, and one of my integrators was over in Vegas, and there were a couple of us that had gotten out for drinks. And then I started noticing that my integrator was following me up into my elevator and onto the same floor. And I turned and I went, oh, are you on the same floor? He goes, no. He goes, I just want you to know I got a hall pass from my wife. And I looked, because I wasn't familiar what hall passes were. And I said, a hall pass? He goes, yeah. She said, it's okay. And I went, I'm married. No, absolutely not. And I mean, that's the type of stuff that I dealt with. And it was just absolutely ridiculous, but it was the time. And it was only through talking and people realizing that you knew what you were talking about and that you knew the industry that slowly started getting that respect. Now, I got out of the industry just before the big bubble, so 2001, for 15 years as a domestic engineer. And I was very pleased when I got back into the industry, 2016, to see that it actually had matured. So we didn't have these funny games going on and things. And I found, it was a lot easier working with the men. But even to this day, I'm going to tell you, I still see boys clubs. I see the pictures of golf. I see the pictures of this, and sometimes I'll call it out. But in being a mom, I have even called out upper management and told them the way that they have spoken to me or treated others it's unacceptable. And I'll even pull the mom card and I'll say, would you like for your daughter to be treated like that? I mean, and then like you were saying, they don't have the realization, but it's like, pull it back in. Like, do you want them to be treated like that? If not, then you got to start considering how you're treating on your level as well.
Well, we just had that InfoComm post with the girls in the bikinis, and
that's Yes. And I ordinarily don't talk, but that one I was like, come on, dude.
I reported that on LinkedIn. Sorry for
we all did.
No, but you did. Oh, okay. I know somebody else that did, and
several of us gals did, and so I can't see it anymore. But that kind of thing to me is very, very much a minority. I believe.
And he called me out for it in the comments.
He did. And it's to me, not even worth it.
In poor taste.
Yeah. In poor taste.
Yeah, that's right.
I still feel like that's the minority, right?
It is 100%.
I still feel very bad that some of that still happens. But I mean, we're tackling one thing at a time, right? We had the booth babes. We had it's just like one thing at a time. But
sometimes it does feel a little one step forward, two steps back.
Sometimes I agree with you. There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think yes. I think you have to have the confidence. I think you have to have the security, and to be able to call out when you see that things are unacceptable.
And
not be sorry for it, or like what are the repercussions? Because you know what, sometimes men just they can't figure it out. They don't realize what they're doing. And so they're like that third child you have. You got to hone them back in.
Well, I just am, I'm grateful for my seat at the table. I still work hard every day for my customers and for my reputation. I'm not just there and like, hey, now I can slack because, no, I still work really hard. I still feel like we need to continue doing what we need to do to keep, keep that seat, right? Look around, make room for somebody else, like Erin was saying. We need to grow. We need to grow the women in our industry, but quite honestly, we also need to grow the younger people, right? Male or female, right? Just to get some younger generations in there. I was just talking with somebody at InfoComm. We were talking about this age group. I know a whole lot of people that are in this next probably 2 or 3 years that are retiring, and there's a big group of that. I saw Greg Battistone
Big group
today.
And we have a couple more people retiring too this year. So
I think my entire group from the NEC side, when we were all together, there at one point there was like a dozen that were all in that, and I think it's just like every other month I kind of start seeing, oh, it really is happening. So we need to get some younger people in our industry. So
if I could retire yesterday, I would. We got funky audio going on. Do you hear that?
I don't know. I think Tim's trying to come in because I told him we're going to wrap up here and just.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's what it is.
No, but I tried to get my son in the industry, and then James brought around an intern, and so I instantly actually connected him with a connection I had just talked to who he was hiring, but it's hard for the younger. Like, we have to have more internships. We have to be able to, and I know on LinkedIn or by mouth, be able to say, hey, just even a junior job, let them come in and start learning it.
NBT at Almo is a good first step.
What is?
The NBT team at Almo is a a good step. It's a great entry into
the AV
industry.
A new business.
They learn all the products. They're handling small business sales. Almo, they're really good at training and developing their team.
They should promote it. I didn't know anything about it. Yeah. That's great.
And when James brought into my booth, I immediately said, there's several companies like CTI, for example. They have a really amazing internship program. Yeah. And like their goal was, like, I'm going to make these numbers up because it's somewhat close. Their goal was to have 40 or 50 in that program. And they had over 80. It's just, they get people young, they train them in all sorts of areas. And then that person kind of decide, because some come in and like, I really want to be a technician, or, hey, I really want to be an engineer, or, hey, I want to be in sales. It kind of takes you through all the different things that they can do. And, because I think, that's important. You have to, get in and see.
There's no internships.
Yeah, there's no degree of like, here's your pro AV degree. So this is what you're going to go do. Like, we kind of all fell into this and all that. But
all of our departments get internship. Like two of our salespeople that we have now were interns, and now they've been promoted into BDMs, BDRs. So we still do internships.
Yeah, but it's just a matter of knowing who
does it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I always bring up is when I was in school, I like hopped around. I was obsessed with Law and Order, so I graduated with a bachelor's in criminal justice, which I'll never use. But I really wish AV existed when the AV world as a career. I wish I knew in high school that it existed. So I was talking to somebody. I was like, I wish there were more events and things that we can do to bring awareness, just for high school students about our career. And so I've been looking like for opportunities that maybe we can host like career fairs for, especially with programs like Boys and Girls Club, or like programs that would allow us to speak, because I do think it's such a rich industry, and there's so much room for younger generation.
Right.
And it's also a career path. Like, I look back and I was like, wow, I pay for student loans for a degree I'm never going to use. That's great.
Same.
I wish I knew what I knew right out of high school. I would have gotten my CTS, and I would have worked my way up in AV from there. So I feel like there would be real value to somehow bring awareness that this industry does exist, and there is a path to growth. that maybe is not your traditional path to going to college. And, because I don't know, I just feel like I personally would have loved to know that it was,
same.
this was an option.
Yeah.
Even
George,
before I was 40, what? How old was I? I don't know how, 46. I didn't know anything about it. I would have been here my whole life. I love this industry.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we could have a whole episode on how we all fell into this industry, because I feel like everybody that talks about it it's just some sort of falling
Mine
into
was happenstance.
Yeah.
I feel like it's Alice in Wonderland for everybody. You just followed the rabbit in somehow.
What I was going to say is George Chaco with Pace University. He's been heavily involved with high school students and holding things. He's
awesome.
He's done a great program.
Yep. I love that. I love hearing about that too. So, well, we're kind of at our time. Thank you guys so much for being on. Erin, it's always great to have you on our AV Life, and Gisela, come back whenever you want. We loved having you.
Yeah.
And good luck with, the WAVIT program and all that. I love that you're involved with that. And if we can help you at all, or you want,
for sure,
you need a space to come talk about it, the AV Life we're very, very open to having you and your group on. And
this was so much fun. I feel so just blessed to be able to be here. Like Brandy, when she mentioned, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll support. I thought I was just going to listen. And so,
no, you're talking.
Yeah.
You have a seat at the table, and we want to hear you.
I love it. No, I'm all over this table in a PG way. I love it.
Cool.
Well,
thank you so much.
As Tim always says, until our next adventure.
Bye.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Take us out, Tim.
Tell him hopefully he's here, or we can keep talking and you'll just
Is he watching football?
And I apologize if I was looking down. It was my dad's family's from Portugal, my mother's from Brazil, and then I grew up here, so I'm like soccer.
Oh, you're watching the football? Yeah.
Yeah, Portugal was playing, and so I was trying to see if they wanted.
What's the score?
It was 2-1.
Oh, it's done?
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, finished win. Yeah,
And
the U.S. is doing really good.
Did Portugal win?
Yeah, Portugal won. So it's the first time that they advanced to the knockout. So it's exciting.
Yeah, if you get up on Twitter, X, you'll see all the videos of Toronto, how packed it is with Portuguese fans. And the town I grew up in, there's a portion of the town that it's all Portuguese from Azores. So my ex-brother-in-law, Portuguese.
Yeah.
Tim is TikToking.
Yes.
No,
I'm just saying. Tim is TikToking.
Yeah, there's. I didn't realize there was such a big.
Stop sending me TikToks and like.
Yeah, I even asked a person who posted when he said he's in Little Italy in Toronto. I'm like, I never even heard of Little Italy. First time I heard Little Italy, Little Portugal, Little Portugal.
Yeah, but even on my Brazil side of the family, there's a lot of Brazilians in Canada, which I was like, I would never expect them to want to be that cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
That's a good point. That's why I moved away.
I love it. Yeah.
Tim,
so I'm rooting for all three teams until they play each other, and then I have to, I have to choose. Yeah.
I think I have
you're gonna have to pick
Sunday.
one, girlfriend.
Sunday or Monday is Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't take us out.
Let's say it again. Until our next adventure.
Until our next adventure.
Bye. Thank you.